When y'all are ready, no rush, but you just come straight down.
Like I'm Tyson, but I ain't doing no fighting. And I've been feeling righteous, I'm going through enlightenment. Punches of a sidekick, in between her like hyphen. They saying I don't know, but wait till it hit the fan. Grounding up in the sand, the work put in, I seen dividends. I'm a bigger man, better man, I got a better plan. If you don't understand with somebody with some understanding, pineal gland in my crown, and I got the upper hand. Put the blues and rubber bands, I attract abundance. Affirmations daily, that's why blessings keep on coming in. 369, when I wake, I write it 3 times. 6 times in the daytime, 9 at nighttime. Put positive thoughts into your heart, it'll change your DNA. Negative thoughts, they fall apart. 9 straight. I don't even smoke weed no more, I put that on the heaven's gates. Speaking on the heaven's gates, I know I'm going to heaven, mate. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm eating on the vegan plate. Don't take me to Chick-fil-A, I'm eating at the Grand Cafe. They ain't open on Sunday. We don't count it green, even celebrate. I don't care what nobody else think or say. Self-love, the best love. Self-hate got you out of shape. Distractions all in your face. They tell me when they gonna wait. Donald Trump, the last president. Ain't no more candidates. Start to farmland, but grew up to game. On the block hanging, I had my drink. Same all that negative you put in, you get it back. That's dangerous. Feel like all my
How y'all feeling? I'm all right. I'm all right. Glad to have y'all here.
Thank you for having us. My name's Tisa. That's
I
my
was just
daughter,
gonna say who
Simone.
I was gonna say who the point of contact.
Oh,
Miss
yeah.
Tisa, pleasure to make your acquaintance.
You too.
Yeah, y'all do me a favor, sign in.
Yeah.
Real quick. Try to get a better pen than that. Yeah, let me go grab one. I figured that would be a dud. I'll be right back. My brother. I'm all right, man. How you feeling?
Good, what's you?
Yeah, respect,
Yeah, see a couple reels come up, and I was like, oh no, I gotta come by.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Just slide over there, Dave. I'm gonna grab some real quick. I'll be over there. Respect. So I can't. All right. Yes, ma'am.
You're moving in the positive.
What side of town y'all coming from?
Here.
Oh yeah, right around the way. Riverdale.
Yeah, what you mean?
Like here.
Yes, graduated from Riverdale High School.
Oh, okay. That was up. 19.
I have no idea.
What about you, Dave?
Me on the north side. So
North.
Yeah, all the way north. Not even considered Atlanta for real, like Swanee is it. Like,
I was gonna say Tequila.
I have a friend, she lives in Sugar Hill.
Yeah, Sugar Hill right next to yeah.
Sign in for me.
We got some people out here, though.
Nah, that's respect. I just want to see where folk be coming from, how long it take, how traffic looking.
Yeah.
You come from Swanee.
Yeah.
How long you been over here?
This particular farm, we've been here for 7 years. Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right, when folks come in, they probably gonna make a pit stop right here. Just to set the tempo right. Just so everybody know what it is. It's like a barbecue more than anything. Without the food, huh? Far later, though, the vibe gonna be set. Yeah, we're gonna wait for a few more folk to kick in. I really like to hold the conversation. I got me some little conversation starters. See what y'all sustainability is on, man. But I'll wait for a little bit more folks to shine in.
Yeah, I'm a student, man.
That's what we all students.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, man. We all learning. That's the part of my spiel. But like, I'm from around the way too. So I ain't no farmer or nothing in my bloodline. Not that I know of.
Right.
So, got it out the mud for real. Out of necessity. So yeah, I like to really paint that in for real. Like, we ain't gotta be experts or nothing. Like, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you say it's like homesteaded. I saw you trying to do with some plots.
Yeah. Like cohorts, but it's just basically like a hyperlocal food system. So we've been preaching hyperlocal food system for a long time, only to find that a lot of people couldn't maintain their own food production for lack of understanding of how to do it. So that was Farm Fresh 24/7. We came up with that idea thinking we're gonna solve the food insecurity issue, lickety split, and that's what we ran into. And then we created Collectively Sustainable, and that's our community of just regular old round the way folks who know how to do it and say, hey, I'll teach. And all we doing is organizing now. So it ain't like you got to come here to get all your instruction. If you are in Riverdale, boom, you can. But we got folks on the east side, west side. We don't have too many on the north, but we're expanding up there. So we got 13 stewardship centers coming in the next 3 months. Yeah, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Like, cause I'm all into the community building type stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, jump into food. Yeah.
See, I do want to do the homestead thing. I'm curious to even how to get started with it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna break it down. We're gonna dialogue now. So basically, I tell people all the time, man, it all starts in the mind. You know what I mean? So it's really your mentality. All right. We're taught to overly consume.
Right.
So if you're trying to be in the homesteading life or sustainable living life, it's mainly like, are you conscientious about your consumption first? Are you expending a lot of monies or dollars or energy or resources out on things you really don't need? You know what I mean? Are you saving your seeds when you get the bell pepper? Are you composting? You know what I mean? Small things that you can do. Shopping intentionally, right? Shopping with somebody local. Again, that's Farm Fresh, but it's like those are the steps first. So before you go run and grab acreage and land, and I say even after that, so after you start to really be intentional about how you manage your resources as of now, I say then identify your native vegetables, your native wild herbs, all the things that's growing in your backyard and that nature preserve, that walkway, that empty lot. Start there. And that's kind of where I started at. It was just too radical. It was like 10 years ago, and I was telling folks eat weeds, and they're like, ain't your black motherfucker. But this sounds real crazy. So I really started here. This I'm dipping into my presentation, but I really started on the survival tip. I don't know. I guess it was just in me like that. Maybe I was paranoid, but that's where I started from. And it was more like logic taught me, like, if God made everything perfectly, why would food be so difficult to grow? The one thing that we need to sustain us, why would it be so difficult? And I started investigating with that logic. I started looking into the weeds and all the things that you don't need to water or fertilize. And that's why I found all the nutrients, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I say start with conscientious consumption. How you doing? I'm Rhonda. Rhonda, pleasure to make your acquaintance. Look at you glowing. Good. What's up, bro? You got it. Miss Rhonda, y'all do me a favor. Can y'all sign in really quick? So we just wrapping the tab. But yeah, that's what I say, man. Because people think jumping out and get acreage is the way to go.
Yeah, the first thing I think about. Now, I know me. I was like,
dead in the water.
Yeah,
dead in the water. Dead in the water. And I did that. We did that when we had enough skill set to do so. We ran out and grabbed 87 acres in Sparta. And it just wasn't in the card, man. Inshallah, man. It was just really wasn't up to us. So we got pulled from it. But by the time we got there and started working the land, we still had this farm too. And enough manpower. Right. So it's like, man, that ain't the way to go either. We were going there with the intentions of building an intentional community. That's what we were doing it for. But you still got to vet people, right? And while you vetting, you still got to work the land. You still got to, maintain it. And yeah, it was just really God intervened.
Not yet,
Not yet. Pulled us back to Riverdale. And yeah, I know that if we didn't have that happen, we wouldn't have been able to do all the things we're doing now. So one thing I really learned within the quest of the journey to sustainability is people are the most important resource. People. If you got the people, we can learn this stuff real. I mean, 3 months, you can do this. This is like basic training, like military. 3 months, all it takes. 3 months of really not even intensive training, but 3 months of intentional training.
Right.
Come on, this stuff is easy, man. Our folks came from there with 3rd grade education. They were feeding themselves, having their own babies, treating themselves medicinally. We just got pulled from it. So this whole facility that we're in right now is a part of an institute. And we're bringing the Institute of Sustainability to the people. And so we don't take no fancy brick and mortar. It's your backyard. It's your front yard. Can you show folk how to grow food? Can you show them how to raise chickens? Can you show them how to make medicines out of native species, dandelion root? And that's it. It's that simple. We just be making it so complex. You know what I mean? Because we buying into their system, and it's built on confusion.
Yeah.
Once you feel like you got it, they flipping on you again. And now, well, that was last year, Mr. We got to buck some. At the end of the day, somebody gonna have to be like, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. And if it's enough for us who's saying it is what it is, common law prevails. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to bend our will. And so that's kind of what, and again, I'm jumping all dancing all in my mix already. But I can't wait. It be burning inside of me because it just come out naturally. But this is why institutions like this, again, these stewardship centers are important. We have to really empower our community. The real one right outside the door. Folks who can get to you in 15 minutes or less. Not them folk you done kicked it with online. Your bestie and got San Diego and Japan. And come on, man. So it got to be round the way. And so that's kind of the hyper locality of it all. So yeah, I'm ready to spiel already, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's see what time we got. And I'm on YouTube Live, man. If y'all have any preferences to be off camera, let me know.
Me as well. I need to put you on camera. Just let me know if y'all want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to document. That's the main thing where we fail to execute as well as documenting the process and sharing what we learn with other folks. And that again is a part of our collectively sustainable mentality. Like it take all of us to really do it. So I'm gonna show as much as I can, give as much as I can away, because really the currency ain't what we working it. The fiat ain't what we working with, but the energetic currency, you know.
That's all. Like, let me go ahead and bring the camera just again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I wish I had a better presentation, man. We just had some tree work done. We had 5 big trees cut, and man, you don't realize how much trees filter that sunlight till you cut them. Man, oh man. All right, crispy. Learning lesson though. It is what it is. If they survive, they're gonna have some strong genes. So that's what we do. We really put them through the blender. This is my wife Ashley, y'all. And we gonna, what time is it, Mello?
5:12.
5:12. Okay, 3 more minutes, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all time up. 15 minutes usually when we crank it up. I really like to start off by taking a second to allow everyone to introduce themselves and maybe what side of town you came from and why this tour was important to you. If you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Dave. I'm coming from the Swanee Bucher area, and I had seen a couple of videos online, and I really care about community, real passionate about just trying to, you know, when it comes to organizing things, to kind of just help people in all kinds of ways. Like I think it's important what y'all doing, like teaching people how to feed themselves, so they create something sustainable, not be dependent on whatever system that's trying to, you know what I'm saying, oppress or make it difficult to just do things that should be naturally available. So,
absolutely. Appreciate that, family.
I'm Rhonda, and I'm coming from Rex, Georgia, which is not far.
Well, no, I grew up on Rex Road. I went to Morrow High School. Yeah.
So I'm in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm here because of the collective, to truly learn collectively how to build, how to feed ourselves, how to take care of ourselves as one collective unit. And if I can transfer what I learned to where I live in my area, with my
your backyard,
neighbors,
yeah.
I feel like I'll do the purpose that's why I'm here.
Absolutely.
And seeing your videos, especially when you're in the garden, doing your physical
yeah.
It coincides with my regimen. You know, body, mind, and spirit. We are physical beings, and we have to work this body.
Yeah.
And the benefits are also physically, spiritually, and mentally.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. That's respect. A little workout video got some motion around this thing.
My name is Simone. I'm from this side of town. I'm just here supporting my mom.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
That's it.
My name's Tisa. I raised my kids around the corner. They went to Riverdale High. I'm a retired nurse, been retired about 1.5 years now, and I'm getting into gardening. Growing up, my parents had a garden. I love growing stuff, flowers, veggies and stuff. And I'm watching your stuff on Instagram. I thought it'd be good to come out and try to learn more.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
That's how I introduce myself. I'm Ashley Fields. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. And a lot of people ask me, like, how did I get into this? And I got into it with him. Like, we wasn't raised in farming, wasn't raised with gardens. Oh, I wasn't. And it was just a need. So I had 2 things I always said. I wanted to educate my children. I wanted to be able to feed my children. And those 2 things were important, and that's why we're here.
What's up, y'all? I'm Mello. I'm by the way of Stockbridge, and I'm here because I believe in networking and building relationships. The SEALs pulled me in when I started finding out what they do. Just stressing the importance of building as a collective. So I'm all for that. So been rocking with y'all since December.
Yeah.
Love what they got going. All that. So.
Absolutely. All right. So we are waiting for a couple more people, and I really do somebody did call and say they were on the way. They'd be here at 5:30. So I took the liberty of planning us some conversation starters, right? So, Mello, if you would do the honors, man, pull one out, man, and just read it out for us, and we just gonna table it, and anybody can answer.
Okay. That's a good one. Do you ever feel disconnected from what you eat, even when it's good food?
Do you ever feel disconnected with what you eat, even if it's good food? Feelings. Anybody?
Yeah, you don't know truly where it's coming from. You don't know the ingredients that they put into it as far as pesticides, fertilizer and stuff. Some stuff says organic, but then the news says, well, it's not really organic. So you just don't know. You don't know. And now I've been through some health battles. And now I hear all this stuff on the news. If you lived in this area, had this kind of cancer, and it makes you wonder, are you really getting what you think you're getting?
Absolutely. Anybody else?
Yes, when I go to places like Whole Foods and in their organic section, I feel like it may be labeled organic, but my spirit says, it's not, don't believe the hype, and plus, I am one that I really make it a point of supporting the community from which represents me. So when I go to places like Whole Foods, if I feel like it's not within the community, it's a disconnect. Sometimes I do purchase it, but I know I'm not getting the benefit. Because my mind is saying, it's not real.
Anybody else? I'm finna say, as farmers, it's like we just got the whole hole.
All right. I think even I found it like difficult for us to like enjoy like date nights and stuff like that, because even though we're at a restaurant and we're enjoying the food, I'm like, it's not real food, so it's not enjoyable. So I'm just like, I'll just cook from home. Like, we can have date night here because I know what I am putting into my food. I know the intentions, and that's really important to me, the intentions that's going into the food, as well as like the herbs and the spices. So yeah.
Hello, you want to read another?
Yeah, I already know. Do you see food as a form of activism or love? Do you see food as a form of activism or love?
Activism or love?
Man, it gotta be both. To me, I think it's both. Because you're really fighting for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Against all the odds and what's going on, like the system that we in. So I believe it's both. You have to love yourself and fight for, what you need. So I say both. Everybody.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny too, because like I was telling y'all before, the whole Nature Boy thing came in first because I was really in the woods preparing for whatever, thugging it. I'm ready, Rambo. And it was more so me seeing that any form of resistance or rebellion is critical for us to have our own food, our own infrastructure. That it was more like an activism stance for me. I think I've grown to love it and appreciate it, but the main thing was sticking it to the maniosis. You know what I mean? Player had a severe case. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was it for me. It was more like activism. And then I grew to enjoy it and appreciate it and then love it. But yeah, it was definitely rooted in like fighting the man for sure. 1000%. Anybody else?
I think initially I started gardening and getting into this out of love. I saw my parents do it, and how they would grow stuff, can it, freeze it. So in the winter, you got a deep freezer full of stuff, fresh vegetables. And then with everything going on the news, they're cutting Medicaid, they're cutting SNAP. Eventually, WIC's gonna get pulled into that. And then you think about the families, especially the young kids that are going to suffer from that. They're not going to have the free lunch. They're not gonna have Medicaid, not gonna have WIC. So I grew a lot of stuff this summer and I shared it with my neighbors. Because I grew too much, but I got enough to share. So again, I guess that's some action activity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think I started with the love first, and then the action came piggybacked on that.
Yeah. It's beautiful how they intertwine. Either way you go.
Right.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. You got no thoughts about food?
Not right now.
Not right now. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think again, like growing enough food to share with somebody else is as greedy as you can get. I'm talking about you, that's boots on the ground. That's for real. Because really that's really the battlefield now. Everybody's looking for fresh produce or things that they can trust, not even but trustable produce and trusted meat and trusted medicine. And it's so like everywhere you turn is like it's a booby trap set out for you. And so you doing something like growing enough to give away, that's really all the edifice of what we're doing. So it's like as the economy, I'm not gonna say as it declines, but as the currency declines, right? The fiat currency. I believe that we have an opportunity to kind of but to kind of bolster our own system up with by way of agriculture. And because there's so many people, so much food needs to be produced. That means everybody can have a viable place in the food system as far as producing. Right? No matter if it's toothpaste, soap, bread, knowing your native herbs again in your backyard and just being mindful and cognizant of picking those and harvesting those and storing those or preparing. And I mean, everybody could play a part. For those folks who really say, well, I don't want to, I'm like, well, you got to eat though. You know what I mean? So it's like you can really diffuse it. Yeah, you can put out any conversation of folks who really refuse to do it about, okay, so who's going to feed you then? Whose responsibility is it to feed you? And if you can't answer that, if you ain't got no agreement with nobody, then that means you should be out there doing something too. Again, it don't have to be anything grandiose, man. It could just be something as simple as not mowing a 10 by 10 patch of your grass so that you got weeds popping up and you can identify some medicinal value within it. You know what I mean? Or it's a pollinator patch. You know what I mean? You're creating a system for your local ecosystem. It's a lot of things we can do that are minuscule, but if we all add that value up, it's tremendous. Let's do one more, cuz. One more, if you please.
What role does food play in your spiritual and emotional life?
That's a good one. What role does food play in your spiritual and emotional life?
Yep.
I mean, anybody want to go? That's it, deep. I did ask for a deep one too. That chat GPTZ, man. Hey man, that dude to get you in there. So with me, I just crank it up. For me, that's like my origin story. So that wild nature boy who was in the woods like Rambo was a real like off the hinge nature boy, like uncontrolled nature boy, like really out there. PTSD. I was in the military as a combat medic, and so the third time I went into rehab and therapy, they really explained or gave me some options that were more digestible for me. And I was really honestly looking for some answers because the anger outbursts and all them things just not conducive for the household, not conducive for a workplace, not conducive for community building. Ironically, I've been community building again as a act of, sticking it to the man. So I've been doing it, but I was doing it all wrong. And the third time I went in, they were like, look, try a meditative practice. And I was like, man, I ain't doing the crystals thing. I'm not sitting in crisscross and humming deeply. I can't do it. I can't sit down like that. No, you can be outside in nature and garden, and it's a moving meditation. It's just all about your intention of slowing down, intention of watching the plant grow. And I started to study it, and that's kind of where my whole healing process came. So for me, coming back to the land is very much a spiritual thing. It's very spiritual for me. And it's to the degree that a lot of people won't be able to understand until they go through it themselves. But I think that's why, again, food is really important. It's really pivotal for us to really begin our movements there, because there's so many of us dealing with undocumented PTSD and undocumented disorders. And I'm saying the earth was created with everything to sustain us. And I'm saying it's right outside our door. It's free. You just got to really take some time and do it. And I think it has amazing results. I'm talking about from somebody really like traumatized in real ways. And most of us are. And I think it's gonna come down threefold: mind, body, and spirit. You're gonna be rejuvenated, replenished, well rested, man, the whole nine. And might come out dripping flavor like a player, man. You know, you might. I can't promise it, but it can get you.
That makes sense. I was working as a public health nurse in the midst of the pandemic, working 12, 14 hours a day. My family don't even know half the stuff that I dealt with, but I would come home, and pandemics first started around March. So it's perfect time to get out there in the yard and do stuff. And that would be my way to just kind of unwind, decompress from all that foolishness that I had to deal with, that long day, getting fussed at, cussed at, threatened. And then the world was so quiet back then. I would sit out there on my patio. And I'd be talking to God. I'd be just listening. Hear the birds, hear the trees moving. And I think that was kind of spiritual for me. Because I was about to lose it. Because I was like, this is enough of this. Kemp gone crazy. I can't work like this every day. Yeah. And that was my way of dealing with all that pressure. But just trying to make it to the next day so I can try to do it again.
That's good. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody? Food? Y'all good?
Food and I want to say nature in general, because we are nature. So when I am connected with the nature, whether it be a tree, which I'm really connected to, or a plant, it's me. It's me again in a different form. And the plant is also recognizing me and my energy. So we both are having a synergistic relationship. The trees are giving me oxygen and I'm giving them carbon dioxide. How beautiful is that? It's an equal exchange with no compromises. It's just unapologetic love of nature. And that's what I have. And that's what reinforces my spirit, is I'm one with the nature around me.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all sharing. All right, we're gonna get into it now. We cut these tunes off. So first thing I like to do is get my little safety briefing. So this, as you're walking in, you can probably tell already, well, it's a little manicured now, man. Do a lot of maintenance, heavy maintenance. But I try to make sure things are, a little bit maintained, so when people come, it's not crazy. But we do have snakes. We do have spiders. We got all kind of poison spiders. I'm not gonna go into it, but stay on the beaten path where I'll walk. Y'all are comfortable. Y'all should be comfortable walking. Please do not go off and venture into your own tour of some sort. Just stay. Again, just be mindful of your footing, mindful of your steps, mindful of webs. And again, I'm on Blaze the Trail, so nothing should be coming behind y'all. Just be mindful of that. Also, bathroom. This is a composting toilet. So this is the first structure that I've built. Excuse me, let me orient this camera real quick. This is the first structure that I built. I'm quite proud of it. It's still been up 7 years now. Can you hold that for me? But yeah, this is kind of just my first build. This is my first shot at like really having some kind of carpentry under my belt. Built it, didn't know anything. I was just really going with the flow. So it's still standing. So I'm proud of myself. A lot of this was wood that I got off Craigslist. It was repurposed or reclaimed lumber. Somebody else had. They sold it to me and delivered it to me. And I just built mostly all of this, I think, with the exception of the 2x6s and those joist brackets. Everything else was the wood that I got from somebody else. And then this is a composting toilet. Y'all can go ahead and stand to your feet at this time because we're gonna go ahead and walk from here. This is a composting toilet I built. Again, if you're feeling adventurous, you can definitely try it out if you want to. Number one only. We took out the number two option, but number one only. And again, the cool part about this, you're gonna notice that a lot of our farm has pallet wood. So you're gonna notice this theme around the farm as we go forward. And we do this on purpose because, again, we want to give you all a sense of empowerment when you leave. I don't want you to feel like this is something you can't do when you leave. We want you to make it, we want to inspire you. So the cool part about this, if y'all want to see on this side, when you come out here to wash your hands from using the bathroom, it flushes the toilet and then the toilet leaks out to this composting area that we're going to see in a second. So just a little south side ingenuity, just to let y'all know. Y'all don't have to be so far away either, man. You know, hey man, I ain't got cooties. Player don't have cooties or nothing. This is a charcoal retort. So we make our own charcoal. And again, so these stewardship centers, these constructs that we're talking about are basically, one, they're educational resources. So people can come here and be immersed in education. But two, they're emergency preparedness facilities. So if something does happen, we got this big GP meeting with 40 cots. We got gallons of water, thousands of gallons of water that we save. We got food in there for up to 20 people. So our internal community that we are a part of, if anything was ever happen, we'd be a place that everybody comes to, right? So preparedness is where I started. So again, before we started the agricultural journey, I was in the woods running around like a wild man. And I was really inspired by somebody saying, do what you can with what you have where you are. And so I started teaching survival proceeds and practices when we were right down the street in Jonesboro in a small subdivision, regular tiny house, or not tiny house, but a regular, you know, single family home. And I was just hosting classes at our park in the cul-de-sac. And then when we bought this property, I kept doing the same thing. And then it kind of just escalated to sustainability being all things, including food production. So this is kind of where we started. So I like to start here. This is our outdoor classroom again with sustainability. What's going on? Excuse me. What's going on, partner? What's up, partner? What's up, partner? Let me hug on mama real quick. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, shoot. All right, y'all. Okay, so with that being said, this is just where this is what the schoolhouse is going to look like here soon. A lot of issues with school already. Like somebody mentioned earlier, it's being defunded. A lot of things are being defunded. So we have to also be prepared for our own children as well. So in our community. So why not establish some kind of school based in sustainability to give our children an extra leg up, right? We can learn mathematics and science and arithmetic and all those things. Or I said math twice. Writing. We can learn all those things out here too. We do this with programs that we run right now. So I will venture forward this way. So the first stop, it's kind of a stop. These are like pit stops. Urination station. So around 2020, when we had the issue going on with Ukraine, it could still be a thing. I don't know. But, you know, as a farmer, I was researching that a lot of our implements for amendments for gardening, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all those things came from Ukraine. A lot of those things were heavily industrialized there, shipped here. So the farming industry was really scared because a lot of their inputs were not going to be coming in, or so they thought. So we practice a lot of natural Jadam methods, Korean natural farming methods, or indigenous gardening methods. So we do a lot of our own fertilizer. And I started to really kind of think about it. Then I researched like what did folks do back in the day, grandmas, you know, big mama, no. And really, I started to think about how indigenous folks garden back in the day too. And the zero waste methodology is one that we encompass and try to live by. And so that we know that in nature, there is no waste. Everything gets used. And so urination station, we learned that urine is full of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, which are the nutrients that plants need to thrive and main ingredients in common mineral fertilizer. So yes, a lot of that stuff do be even human remains, they'll sell it back as a fertilizer for sure. And then again, in the country, they'll tell you when you're a kid, go do number one over there by that tree or that tree, and they'll switch it up I didn't know, but I was just following their directions, but I didn't know it was a walnut tree, a pecan tree, an apple tree. So us as little kids were fertilizing the tree then. And again, I just made me think, so when you use the number one there, you flush the toilet, it comes to this little basket back here full of leaves. We don't necessarily use it, but it's just one of them things where people can see the construct of making your own fertilizer, if you will, or nutrient dense compost. And we use everything. So even these feathers, they've been sitting here for a while, but even when we process our animals, that's our chicken processing station. We'll pull that out. So again, as we learn things and get a good hold of them and make sure that they're true and they're honest and their best practices, at least in the time being, we always invite our community out. So that's where that collectively sustainable community comes in. We stopped really putting it out to the general public because we felt like we were casting our seeds on barren soil. And so to really make sure that we're being stewards of our time and our energy and our resources, we close the doors, so to speak. And so most of these classes are offered to our collectively sustainable community as well. So this is our little worm farm. So I've tried this worm farm for years and years and years. I never really tried it seriously, but I don't know. The first thing we wanted it for was for when we went fishing, we ain't had to go buy no worms to look for worms. But then it just really started to be a thing to where I realized how good the worm castings are. So these are all worm castings. So this is really right now ready to be harvested and new stuff being put in, new implements, food scraps, leaves, all that. So we'll see if we get lucky. What I usually do is forget to water this stuff and then they end up just leaving because it's too dry. Let's see how chocolate that thing. Hey man, it's good money. I'm gonna tell y'all real quick. This is also where we show agribusiness, and like a scoop of this is like $30–40. Easy money. Easy money. So yeah, a bunch of worms in there. They're babies. Y'all see them? And I haven't fed this in a while because I know I'm about to sift it out. But I'll just sift it, drop as many worms in there as possible back in. But all I gotta do is throw in food scraps and they'll be back in here like they never left. Give it like 30 days and it'll be populated like crazy. This is just sidebar. I'm gonna throw this in after I sift it. This is my old moonshine. So yeah, I do be country boy. Again, zero waste. That's another way we feed the corn to the chickens and it deworms them as well. So again, just having everything being a use at least twice is the way of life around, I guess, on the homestead, I guess, is what you say. Yes, ma'am.
How did you get this started? What was the first thing you put in there?
Let me go ahead, open it back up. So first thing I like to explain is this is a jacuzzi tub. Right? This is a jacuzzi tub. When we first bought the house, it had this big tub and the master, we didn't want it, brought it out here, dug a half hole, threw it in. The most I ever done was throw food scraps in here and leaves. That's it. They come in naturally. So again, I can take all this out. If I want to just be lazy and just pull all of it out and throw the worms and everything in the garden, I could. And then I throw some more food scraps in here, some more leaves, and they're going to be here in 30 days or less. So worms, I'm not going to get to the science of them because I don't know the names and the specifics, but basically they can populate an area to the degree that they say they need to be there. So they'll have as many babies as the area needs. And once they reach that capacity, they stop. Amazingly, right? All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. You the realest. All right. So over here, we run dual purpose birds. And again, welcome to a homestead, a functioning homestead. This is not an Instagram homestead or a TikTok homestead. It's the real deal. So it's gonna look kind of rusty, and I do some of these things on purpose because I be feeling funny, like I'm finna create a false picture, a false narrative, and y'all gonna go home thinking that you supposed to be trim and proper. No, man, we out here swinging and banging. So these are dual purpose birds that we run, and basically They're Rhode Island Reds. These are egg layers and meat birds. So they're called a dual purpose bird for that reason. We don't necessarily go in here a lot because of biosecurity. So we teach that, like a lot of this avian influenza and all this stuff going on with the birds, so to speak. I'm putting that in big quotation, but a lot of it has to do with people not really raising them properly or understanding the threshold of security. So with us, we keep everything on the outside. So I can water from the outside. We typically feed from the outside. We just take it and throw it in and scratch grain. The most we'll do is go in and fill that 5-gallon bucket up once a week. But that's about it. But we're very intentional about switching our boots out when we go in the house, taking them off, you know what I mean? Or actually having a pair of boots to actually go in here, right? So that's also a way that we do it. But dual purpose birds are just that. Again, they're golden comets and Rhode Island Reds. They're not the best egg layers, but we get about 280 eggs a year, something like that per chicken. And then they're not the biggest birds, but we get about a 7-pound bird. What you think, boo? About 7 pounds, 8 pounds? Yeah. 7-8 pound hen. And that's good. That's decent. And we'll run these again. We run the dual purpose bird so that we can, we have 2 roosters in here. So obviously we can incubate the eggs and then hatch more, run them again. So we usually keep meat birds in the back. We have a couple of them back there right now, but we haven't hatched any for this year. This is also something I'd like to show. This is an old IKEA shelf that I found on the side of the road and converted it into the nesting box. And again, we started with little to no money. What's going on? See y'all. I'm gonna get you. I was gonna look for the sign in. I need y'all to sign in real quick. It's right there on the table. Right there. Thank you, Ugo. But hold on. Yeah, you can't take with the baby. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, what we did again, zero waste methodology. It's a lot of good resources out here, and this just happened to be one. And my whole thing is I wanted to be able to access the eggs from the outside. Again, I want to limit my interaction because I can be inviting a species of bacteria in there to get them sick, and then they can in turn be doing the same thing as I walk out across that threshold. So our whole operation is to be out of their hair as much as possible. I ain't taking pictures with them. I'm not picking them up. I'm not petting them. To be honest, if they get sick, I'm just processing respectfully. But I'm not finna do a whole bunch of doctoring either. We just gonna hatch another one. And I ain't no disrespect to y'all. And they know, and I mean, that's just how I be talking for real. Like they real. I mean, they're here. We love on them, but we ain't best pals. You know what I mean? So anybody have any questions about the egg run or anything? No?
So was that a day's worth of eggs that you just took out of there?
No, that's like 7. Yeah, 7. Well, I mean, a day for us?
No, I'm saying how long would it take?
Oh yeah, every day. Yeah, every day. So that's like 7 days. It's usually 7 to 9. So it's 10 hens in here, 2 roosters. Or excuse me, it might be 9 hens in here, 2 roosters. And so we'll usually get 7 to 9 eggs a day. And then wintertime, they'll slow down. And some people will put lamps in there to extend the time, but I like to flow with nature. And I'm like, if they body's telling them to stop, I respect it. And we lime our eggs. So we'll have like maybe 10, 12 dozen eggs in lime water so that we can kind of have them shelf stable. That's a big thing for us. Like we're moving into mostly all of our things being shelf stable instead of just freezing them. We'll actually pressure can them or water bath can them or lime them, pickle them, what have you, and put them on the shelf. So that way, if the power go out or the system folds and whatever happens, we're prepared. We don't have to worry about a lot of electricity being spent. Anybody else?
The chicken just goes there and lays the egg?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can train them. So you can train them. Like I used to have the chickens out and they used to be just free range chickens, but I didn't realize how many people were just terrified, like not just scared, but terrified of chickens. So it was really funny, but everybody didn't see it that way. So we closed them up and yeah, they'll just go in. You can train them. I used to have them trained with my whistle, like a specific whistle I do. They come or just basically training them for nighttime habits and feeding them at the right time. And they'll just go in there. And you can use a wooden egg to put in the laying box. And what they do is they send signals to each other. So if one chicken lays an egg in one spot, the other ones is signaling to everybody else it's a safe place. And so they'll all lay in what's called a clutch. They'll typically all lay in the same spot. So all you gotta do is get one to lay, and they're all gonna follow suit.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? We go this way. How y'all doing?
Good.
I'm all right. All right, so these are our elderberry trees. These are our, we call them our mother elderberry. It's Johns and Adams, two different varieties, but we are in fact an elderberry farm. So all the trees down the driveway are elderberries. And so we're just really revving up our production. But these two have been here the longest. Out of each one of these trees, well, really, this one runs so we can get way more cuttings out of this one than this one. But we'll probably cut about 3,000 elderberry cuttings, just, well, excuse me, I'm gonna say 1,800 off of these two plants alone, easily. And that's with not taking them all the way down to the nub. That's with like keeping a lot of growth there as well. So they really come back every year. We make the cuts in spring, and then they come back just like this by summertime bearing fruit. So they grow really, really, really fast. We actually been playing with actually using the sticks as stakes as well. We tried that this year, so it worked pretty well. Some of those stakes are right here on the ground. Let me see if I can grab one. So they're not the strongest, but again, we're just trying to practice or try anything out that has sustainability to it. So we carve these up front, and I'll show you, we stake these for tomato steaks. So it worked. It's been working so far so good for tomatoes, excuse me, cherry tomatoes, not the beefsteak dudes, but it's been working. So that's one other value that we found out of the elderberry. But again, they're very prolific. They're good for Georgia's clay. They're good for their native plants, so they do well. You don't have to water them too much. This heat is something else that we've been seeing, but they've been still producing pretty well. So these are our elderberry. And we'll be selling elderberry products at the end too, if y'all want some. These are our fig trees. We got some golden figs, some the brown turkey, I believe it's called, brown turkey figs. What we learned about this land and why we started transitioning from just being farmers to stewards is really because we started to really identify again. Like I was telling Dave in the beginning, if you want to really start this journey, the first thing you should do is get your mind right. And next thing you do is start to identify the things that are growing around your area naturally, that you ain't got to water, you ain't got to fertilize, no nothing. They're there every year. And so that's what we started doing. We started identifying that we had a lot of mulberry trees growing around the property. Mulberry is very much a native tree, native plant, and they're everywhere around our property. And we get mulberries off these by the ton. This tree particularly, I don't know what kind they are, but they're usually like that long mulberries. So pretty cool. Muscadine vines as well. And I'll show y'all a muscadine vine up front that we didn't plant, but it's just really prolific again. Cherry trees, wild cherries, they are high in medicinal value. So those are some of the things we have as well that we unearthed from just being mindful. So back here, we have our cattle sheep, and don't mind our lake. It's kind of looking rusty right now because we had a tree fall and it broke the bottom. So it's about 6 feet lower than it should be. But what we learned is with having this land, again, like I was telling Dave again, like having the land and not the manpower or the time to really work the land is really critical. And we really had to problem solve on the fly earlier on. And I just couldn't spend a day cutting the front and another day cutting the back. It was just really taxing while we were trying to work a full-time job and homeschool and run a business. So I really started researching what animals keep the land. So the first thing we bought were goats. All right, that's what everybody probably would think about. Goats, right? Goats are the worst thing you could probably buy if you were in a situation like mine. That way you're nodding that head hard as hell, dude. But yeah, goats is typically what we all go to. But the whole thing is goats are very much, you know, that term scapegoat. Like it's real, it's literal. They're going to escape on you. They don't like the fence. They don't like to be bound. They don't like to be contained, and they can jump really good. So, and they can climb really well. So we had Nigerian dwarfs, and basically we learned a valuable lesson because goats like to eat up, and they didn't touch any of the stuff on the ground that we wanted them to eat. So we spent all that money and time raising these goats, and all they wanted to do was climb the fence and get out and climb up on stuff to eat. And so we figured that out real quick too. Like, that was the wrong investment. 2 years later, we started getting catted in sheep. These are known as hair sheep because, again, same way I am with the chickens, I'm like that with all the animals. I don't like to be their best buddies. I mean, they sweet, blue and black back there, but I don't like to be their best friend like that just because that's not in my nature. But we do love on them. But yeah, the sheep come in and they eat low. Catted in sheep eat low, and I didn't want to, excuse me, I'm sorry, I jumped all the way around. We got these cheap hair sheep because I didn't want to have to shear them. I didn't want to have to come in and shear them every year. That's just another job. So hair sheep are specific because they'll rub their back up against a tree and basically give themselves a haircut. So hair instead of wool. I see if they can come up here. I don't know if the dogs will let them up here. They ain't paying me no mind. Yep. We usually have them out here, but I ain't want to risk being too late and them forgetting to lock them up. But anywho, we got the dogs with them. Those are livestock guardian dogs. We got those after losing our animals almost 3 times in total. We lost our sheep twice, flocks of sheep. We lost a flock of goats. We lost rabbits, quail, you name it. We lost it to dog attacks. So we got dogs. So they've been safe ever since. But yeah, this is our area again, pallet wood theme. Again, a lot of our framework is built out of pallet wood again because it's very much available. So that's it for the catted in. And I'm probably saying that name wrong too, but it is what it is. All right, this is our solar dehydrator. This is something that's probably been, it's probably been up for like 6 years. It's time for an upgrade. I'm going to be upgrading this and the greenhouse this year. But this is a very important thing as well that we learned when we started really beefing up our production, beefing up our knowledge with understanding the things that are growing wild and very much available. We had to learn how to save them, like preserve them faster than a small dehydrator. So I built this unit. I'm going to actually put shelves in here. But for right now, we just have this 7-layer, 7-tier mesh bag. And basically what I learned through iterations of this actual framework is the first time I made it out of an old oven. And we learned that the oven basically cooked the thing, not dried it out. So we started putting things in there and they just be soggy and hot like it's fresh out the oven. And so we changed it up, did some more research, and we figured out that it's airflow that dries it, not necessarily having to be hot, excuse me. So even in the winter, a mild winter, I can still use this dehydrator and it'll still work. So what happens is as the heat comes from the bottom, air comes from the bottom, this glass, plexiglass with the black background makes it hot, makes the heat hot, the air hot. And as it gets hot, it rises and then comes down, and this false wall makes it so where it can't escape anywhere but there. So it kind of pulls it down because the flue is up here. So what we can do is make it basically have a more violent pull. The higher the chimney is, the more dramatic the airflow becomes. So that's basically what dries it. And we've put, 1/4-inch slices of tomatoes in here, strawberries. They take a little longer. They'll probably take like 2 days all the way. But if you just put herbs in there, dandelion, red leaf, red raspberry leaf or anything like that, give it a day and it's already dry. Right. So again, that's $0. We probably put stuff in here and forget that it's in there probably more than anything. But yeah, 2 days max, and you can pull it out, cycle another bunch through. So I built this with my first apprentice, actually. His name is Zion. And if y'all are on TikTok, he be building log cabins in Atlanta, dark-skinned dude with free-flowing locks. Yeah, that was my first apprentice, man. Me and him built this together. So yeah, this is with me not having any real understanding. Again, there's a lot of pallet wood in here as well. I'm gonna build it better, but the main thing is like you could just try it. Just try it, you know. Anybody got a question? No? All right. Moving over, another thing that I'm gonna be remixing. This was sad for me this year. A lot of our passion fruit, the whole point of me leaving this up, because I have the pallets up the hill if y'all seen when you were driving down. I'm gonna be redoing this and you know, showing the community how I built this. But I left it here for this long because we have passion fruit that grows here every year, and it grows over here like crazy. This particular year, I guess it might have been the heat, but the passion caterpillars, they just ate all of our leaves this year for some reason. I don't know. But again, I just kind of stay out the way. If it's being done, I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. We got a couple little fruits here. That's a passion fruit. And then we have a rogue watermelon here that I just let stay down. But yeah, that's kind of how we do it. So this is important because, again, the mimicking, again, the pallet wood, the free resource, all I really paid for was the top beams. Everything else is repurposed wood, repurposed lumber. You can definitely tell by the door being configured like that. That's not how it's supposed to be. But again, it's been up for at least 6 years. So it stood the time, test of time. The only thing that happened, same thing with our solar panels. We had a tornado earlier this year, and it came, knocked the whole side of the fence down. As well, it dropped a limb on our solar panel. And that's why we had that tree work done, because the trees were dropping limbs so much with all that hot and cold, raining, muggy. So this area was mainly for our tropical plants. And what I wanted to do was create a zone that we can really monitor or manipulate the temperature, so that we can kind of show that we can grow tropical plants here. And that was our whole intention. And we had a horrible frost one year, and I abandoned that, and I just started using this as our secondary kind of like security area. So in the wintertime, we'll be growing a lot of cabbages in here, a lot of leafy greens, and we use thermal mass induction heating. And that's basically all these 55-gallon drums that you see are filled with water, and we're oriented to face south. So east to west, the sun is always shining right here, and it heats up the water that's in the barrels. And when it drops in temperature, it'll release the heat or the energy slowly. So this is how we do it. Also, I'll partner this method with just having a compost bin in the greenhouse, and then I have heavy compost on the north side and the east side, and that's basically just insulation. And I have like 4-foot swales of leaves, just crushed up leaves. So it's also serving as my compost to break down for spring planting as well, but it's also insulating and creating that heat. As it composts, it goes into the greenhouse as well. So that's kind of what we do at this area. So it looks a little raggedy right now, but it go. That's for sure. Any questions?
It's a banana?
Absolutely. A banana. So again, my main intention for this area was to just flex some muscle on these folk, man. Really just straight up. Southside player like to flex muscle. So I just really want to show that we can have tropical fruits here too. Like, we got the ingenuity for it. So that was my main intention. So we had coffee beans in there, red peppers were in there, the bananas, obviously, we have a guava melon still in there, and that was my whole intention. But again, we did have things bare. So in there, we can manipulate the temperature to where we can have those bananas fruit and mature within there, because we have a dwarf banana variety in there called Cavendish banana. This banana, on the other hand, I don't know what this variety is, but we don't use it for the fruit per se. We're not looking for it, the fruit. Can anybody take a guess at what we use it for? If you ain't seen the video, or no. Huh? Uh-huh. For what? What you think? What you think?
Baskets or cooking, or baskets or tea? Or...
So tea, you can do tea. I know some people do tea. Baskets, that's very much something you could do. Cooking, so we use these for like plates, like green plates. So we barbecue sometime, and we'll use the banana leaves instead. Our main component, our main use of the banana, did you want to say, did you have one more to add? You didn't? Okay. Okay. Fertilizer. So we make our own fertilizer again. So will the Jadam method or indigenous gardening method, basically zero waste again. The plants are themselves full of their own nutrients. So if you take a banana leaf, put it in water, maybe add in some lactobacillus, and you let it sit for 30 days, you can fertilize your plants with them. So that's the potassium implement. So instead of us using banana peels, we use the banana in totality. So now we can have this much banana instead of trying to have the peels stacked in the refrigerator getting rotten. So this is what we use it for mainly. But yeah, we love the banana. This is our container garden area. It's basically, you know, you see it. We got sweet potatoes on the outside of the rows, and I just wanted to do that because you can walk over them and they're not really damaged. Nothing really happens when you trample on them, so they're just there, and we'll harvest them when they get ready. But basically, the peppers are here because this is our hottest area, hence the greenhouse being on this side. But the containers are another area we like to fixate on because of new growers. And I tell anybody who's just starting to grow, don't rush out and buy beds. Don't rush out and buy a whole lot of materials. Start in buckets. And I even tell them to go forward and even look at the restaurants or places you can get buckets for free or low cost. So I bought these buckets from a coffee house, and they just had dairy creamer in it. And I got them for $2 a bucket. But basically, you want to start with buckets so that one, your expenditures are low, and two, you can move them around. Because I didn't understand equinox and the sun orientation until I started growing. And matter of fact, I'm gonna say this: we wasn't even growing yet. We built this raised bed area that we about to walk to. We built that area first with some kids we had a program with, and we built it in winter, thinking we were getting ready for spring. And the sun was over here then. And then when spring came, the sun was over there in the middle, and I was like, what in the world's going on? So that's when I first got introduced into what the sun really does during spring, summer, fall, and winter. So yes, buckets are what we always tell people who are new to growing to do. New at growing, to kind of park their car there temporarily, just so you can kind of realize the lay of your land and how much sunlight you do get. All right, let's roll. Here are those muscadine vines I was talking about. Let me see which way I want to go. I'm gonna go this way. So these are the muscadine vines I was saying earlier. These are nothing that we planted, but we just, again, stewarding the land. We found these as a viable resource, and we just let them stay here. They're a very specific type of muscadine. I've never tasted any like this before in my life. They taste like cotton candy. And that's for real. So if y'all come back in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, they'll be ripe, and I'll let y'all have some for sure. But no lie, no flex. They really taste like cotton candy. We got a witness. We got a testimonial in the building. And we don't sell them. So it ain't like I'm trying to push you to come here. I'm just saying you can taste the flavor too. We make wine out of them for the most part. These are our quail over here. And if y'all want to try a tomato, please. That's what it's there for. Good. Yeah, the real deal. The real deal. Oh, there go them bamboo, the elderberry steaks I was talking about. Right there. Yep. And I even experimented with that PVC pipe too. I just wanted to see what could happen, what we could use over again. So yeah. What they hitting on? Good, refreshing, right? Huh? Refreshing. Okay, so again, in true flavor, I really was going to change this for the sake of the tour, and because I was tired of looking at it, but I really wanted to be honest, and I really wanted to show a real picture. So y'all come on over this way. So this is our quail operation. Mind you, again, pallet wood is the general configuration. Low cost or no cost. We got these pallets for free. The most we had to pay for was the bird netting. And as you can see, this is as rickety as it gets, but they still in here happy. So I'm happy. But again, I didn't want to change this out so you see something different than what it was. It's been like this for about 2 months, 3 months. So I'm gonna show y'all this on today. And after today, I'm gonna fix it. But I just wanted y'all to show this old closet door we put together to make a door out of. And basically the quail are in here. These are jumbo coronex quail. We show the quail, one, because they are quiet. So people who want to do egg production or meat production, but they have an HOA or they have a nosy neighbor in an overly vigilant code enforcement, quail are what you want to go with because quail are quiet. They don't make a lot of noise. They really can fly under the radar. You can still get your egg a day from your hens and you can still get some meat. So we actually process these as well. And I think for our family of 6, how many did we need? 1 per person or 7 in all?
We might have ended up with 3.
3. Okay, that's what I thought. I think I had a full one. Yeah. So yeah, so a household of 6, we use 3 quail. And mine, I don't really eat that much. Also, just realistic. But also, I don't eat that much because really this stuff be nutrient dense. Remember, I talked about eating them weeds. So for real, like it really sustains you. It's really out here for free. So we'll add in nettle, we'll add in chickweed, we add in, you know, henbit, clovers to our salads, on our burgers, plantain, whatever it is, we'll add it to fortify the nutrient layer, right? So again, 250, excuse me, 230, 5, like I don't have to eat that much. I said the old number, I'm sorry, y'all. So anyway, quail are great. And so if you're thinking about it, they're a great option for meat and eggs. We run them like this is called a oh man, I forgot what you call this. The way we have it set up is more like a natural setup. Natural habitat. Yeah, natural habitat. But what is it called, Booby? I'm trying to say it. Colony setup. Excuse me, colony setup. So instead of having them in individual cages or, you know what I mean, separated, we let them run together. The males are in there with the females, and that's kind of how we like it because this is as close to natural as we can get. So we have banana trees in here. Quail are ground birds. They don't roost like chickens do. They like to be on the ground. So we have things that keep them covered. This particular grass, it stays like this all year long. So they like to be in the grass. But again, they'll tell you with their body language or their non-body language, or as far as egg laying, if they feel safe or not. So if they don't feel safe, you need to throw in some kind of overhead cropping so they can feel like they have a canopy over them, and then you'll see egg production pick up. But quail. And again, y'all, this is that heat that's blaring right now. These trees used to be here. So we taking it in just like y'all, man. This is something new for us as well. So y'all come on over here. And we'll cut through this area kind of quick. So these are our rabbits. American chinchilla. So we first raised rabbits. We raised a meat blend, a meat mutt, if you will. So again, rabbits for us, the first reason for us raising rabbits right here on this sign, they give a lot of manure. So again, we want that input. We want to be self-sustaining. So they give a lot of manure inputs. They have what's called a cold compostable manure, meaning it doesn't have to get to the temperature of 150, 160 for 3 months like chicken manure, horse manure, cow manure does. You can take their manure and throw it directly onto your plants with no problem. Won't burn your plants, won't do anything to them. So that's why I like this manure the best. And they have a lot of it. They produce a lot of it. So also these American chinchillas, they get about 14, 15 pounds. So when we harvest, we'll get about 7 pounds of meat. And then secondly, you get the hide. So you got the manure first, which is something that we use on a almost, let's say, weekly basis. It also can be good for bringing in income. Secondarily, we got the meat production because we are a homestead. All this stuff is for a reason, so we can pack the freezer up with them. And then thirdly, I like to say procreation is third, because you can have one rabbit can have a baby litter every 28 days. Every 28 days, they can drop a litter. Their litters usually consist of 8 to 14 kits. So we're typically around like 11 11 or 12. So literally all these rabbits could have babies in 30 days. That's 33 babies like that. That quick. So this is not a colony setup per se, because we'll keep the males in the hutches for those reasons. But third would be the fact that they can procreate so fast. So it means we have a lot of options to, have more meat. And then lastly, the hide. So these are chinchilla for a reason, American chinchilla rabbits. Their hide is very soft, very high class, exquisitive even, you know what I mean? So we plan to have some hide, some American chinchilla hats going on around this thing.
Low maintenance?
I say yes, very low maintenance for us. Yeah, very much low maintenance. I can't say anything else. We just throw the food in there, throw the water in there. That's it. Again, if anything was to happen, yeah, so these are all girls, but yeah, very low maintenance. So rabbits are a good thing to look into if you're looking for sustainable living, for sure. All right, let's go to my favorite area. So this definitely, again, I'm still getting used to this. It used to look like a forest by the time we got here, but yeah, we're gonna open it up, throw some more trees back out here. All right, we're gonna go into the food forest. We got fig tree, persimmon trees, peach trees. We got a lot of medicinal plants in here. So y'all just come on in, man. We just walking to the back. We got blueberry bushes, fennel, raspberries, service berries, all kind of things. What we teach here, if you haven't noticed, so everything is really compartmentalized. And I did walk past our row garden, but that's just in-ground gardening. Y'all saw that when y'all walked in. Food forest is basically my favorite place because I don't have to water over here so much. Matter of fact, let me come in a little bit. Y'all come in a little bit more. Let me circle it around. My bad, I'm gonna come. All right, right there. Okay, so I just wanted everybody to get in here. So the food forest is my favorite place because it's the closest to indigenous gardening methods. We use the 7-layer of the food forest, or 7-layer of the forest concept, and we put it in food forest terms. You have your canopy. If y'all can see that little 7-layer board right there, you have a canopy, sub canopy, vining, ground cover, root crops, herbaceous layers. And so those are your 7. And basically, this is what this replicates. We have muscadines growing on our mulberry tree right here. We got muscadine growing on the peach tree. We have some tomatoes trellising up the peach trees. Again, we got ground cover down here. Strawberries on the ground. We had squash vining all the way down here. It just got a little hot. But yeah, this is my favorite place because of, again, when you grow it like this, it's like mimicking a forest floor, and the forest floor is the most vibrant soil on earth, undisturbed by human touch. So we kind of do the same thing here and let everything just fall down and just do what it does. We don't really come in here too often. We do water when it gets hot, but this is the area that we don't have to really water in fall and spring. If it rains, cool. If it doesn't, we good. So we just leave it like this. So this is my favorite area. Again, we missing a little bit of vibe without them trees being there, but y'all get the gist. Over there is our solar panels. I taught myself how to do solar just because we were going to get it in the house or on the house. And in order for us to get it, I really just had to understand what was going on. Long story short, they finessing. And we chose to learn it ourselves instead of spend that extra ticket. So what I learned, I often bring to the community as well. I'm not an expert, but we hosted classes before on how to make small solar configurations like this. And this one is mainly there to power this tiny home. And we'll walk up there and I'll show you that right now. Squeeze me, you good. Yeah, y'all can go ahead. Y'all slow down when you walk through. These are also beds that we built out of reclaimed wood. These are fence pickets. Somebody paid me to come pick up their fence. And so I made these extra long beds. These are pallet wood beds over here as well.
Why we have CDs?
The CDs. He said, why do we have CDs? So it's 2 things. One, yes, it's supposed to deter the squirrels, but I can't say that works at all. So the secondary aspect is always gonna be flavor. You know what I mean? They say that they say you don't bite it till you sauce it. So this is more of a cultural edifice.
Okay.
So as y'all see, we got the tomatoes going,
Nice big one.
the carrots in here, some tomatoes over there, some peppers here. These beds out here, we have comfrey that we got to harvest because it's getting too hot. But these beds are all natural beds as well. We just use split wood to outline the bed. Did a double dig method to kind of secure the bed. So we got blueberry plants over here. Again, tomatoes, pomegranate trees on the ends. And so this is kind of, again, an accentuation of the food forest. It's kind of done the same way. This is a heat tolerant spinach called Malabar spinach. It's really good. Well, some people like it, some people don't. It's very mucilaginous. It's like okra leaves. So if you like okra and okra, you know what? I'm thinking about that okra water too. I might just put some of that in some water and see what it do. Huh? Oh, really? Well, there you go. So Malabar spinach, heat tolerant. What's up?
What are these? I'm not sure.
These are actually purple long beans.
Oh, they long.
Yeah, they long. Purple long beans. We love these because how they produce. They really produce well. And yeah, so we're gonna start planting again here soon. So we'll successively plant. All right, this is our little this is our mini solar. This is our portable solar that I built. And this mainly functions as one auxiliary power. So if I need power tools or something up here where it's way too far from the power outlets at the house, I can use this to power most of my little tools. But the main function for this, one, for education, two, for inspiration, and three, to power this diaphragm pump that's needed for the water to come on in the shower. So again, I actually built this first before I built that. So this is what gave me the leverage to build the bigger system. I learned it from here and then applied it there. And it was right on time because that one, when I got it from Amazon, it didn't even come with any instructions. So luckily I learned it. But yeah, these were also cabins that I built. I was just really testing myself to see if I could build a house, if my family needed one, could I build one? So I really just did it like this. And again, our whole farm being an educational farm, a lot of our community is calling for solutions for the increase of prices of everything. And a lot of folks talking about going shopping small, living in tiny cabins, living in RVs, living off the grid. So our farm is built to kind of facilitate that training modality. And so in here we have composting toilet again. The gray water exits into this little field right here. So that's your hand water, your urine. It'll come in there. We'll have the banana trees in there. Then you have a tankless water heater, and the water catchment system is right here. And the water catchment system basically is coming off the roof, and then it comes into this 3-part cleaning system of 1 micron, half a micron, and then a charcoal filter. And so it goes through and it goes into the tankless water heater from there. So again, just showcasing how you can actually collect the rainwater, filter it, clean it, and then make it viable for showering. The second part, my bad, you good, thank you. Second part, again, is the off-grid living portion. A lot of folks say they want to live tiny until they feel what tiny feel like. You know what I mean? So this is, again, one of those things where we've had one person stay in it, but we want to open it up. I'm just too paranoid for anybody to be here, so keep it real. But we're going to have some community members coming in and staying in when it gets cool in the fall. So we'll run it in the fall for sure. But just to have a way for folks to try it out. And then again, they wake up in the morning and they get to manage the land, feed the animals, make fertilizer, all the things that you would do if you were off grid. So this is kind of our immersive response to education. And so again, that theme, pallet wood on the shutters, handles made out of real wood, man. It's courtesy of my partner, man, and community member, tool man Tim. He did this, but yeah, pretty dope. Pretty dope, you know. Any questions? Cool. All right.
Take the buildings.
Say it again.
How long did it take to build?
How long? You know what? It took a good little minute. I say like a year and some change. If I really was going in with what I know now, I say I can build this in about 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. Yeah, 4 months would probably be a lot longer than I need. If everything was here, I could build it fairly quick now. Yeah.
Is that with you doing other things with your life or focusing on?
Nah, if I really focused on this, I say I could probably build it in 6 weeks.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, with everything going on, if I really dedicated some time, 4 months would be more than enough time, for sure.
Would you ever do like a workshop where you just teach us how to build small scale stuff so we could?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have a workshop coming up showing people how to build rabbit hutches, and that's kind of where I built. That's how I learned how to build. So I started with the small things and realized that it was just really the same thing, just bigger. Same thing, just bigger. But yeah, we definitely do that. Anything we do here that we're building or immersing ourselves in, we always encourage the community to come out for sure. And that's again our community collectively sustainable. So if y'all are interested in any of this stuff, again, we're about to start rebuilding the greenhouse, and this time I'm going to actually dig a hole and build a trench in there with a stove.
My favorite walakini.
I don't know. It
But you
might.
know what I'm talking about? What I'm trying to say?
No.
Like it's like an underground
Tube.
instead of a greenhouse. So even in the winter time.
Oh no, no, not like that.
But you know what I'm
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like it's just halfway under the ground. It's just a greenhouse. It's like submerged.
So even in the winter, even
Yeah.
in cold places.
Yeah,
to get
I know exactly what you're talking about. So mine is more so going to be thermal mass induction heating again, but it's going to be with digging a trench and mounding it with clay. And so when I light the fire on the outside, it'll go through the tunnel and heat up the whole greenhouse that way. So those are things we're going to be building here in the near future.
Do you ever do any class or workshop on how to do rain barrels?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't do them often, but yeah, rain barrels are really like just cut and dry. But yeah, I can for sure. It's nothing really to it. You just put the gutter in there, let the water come in, make your overflow valve. That's about it. That's all I do. A lot of people do all them checks and stuff on YouTube. If you watch YouTube trying to recreate it, you'll be in the sauce. Oh my God, you'll be swimming in that sauce. Yeah, them folks have you locked in for about an hour watching the videos on how to hook up a rain barrel. It don't take all that. It don't take all that. We really do it the simplest way possible. We've been running like that for 7 years now with no problem. Yeah. We're trying it out now. We have one of them solar panels that go to the irrigation system that we got from Amazon. We haven't really tried it. We still hand water. We still hand water everything for the most part. So I want to establish something like that, but we just haven't. I hadn't had the time to really do it.
Because I see the water.
Yeah, so that's just where we get the water from. Yeah, we just grab it with the buckets. Y'all cool? Anybody else? That's our composting station over there. So that's nothing to really venture forward to see. Y'all getting bit up?
But not that bad though.
Okay. I was just gonna say I'm sorry for y'all. No, we don't. We're on city water, actually.
I'm sorry?
We're on city water.
City water.
Mm-hmm.
So do the students that come here, do they learn about these systems?
Absolutely. Yep. So when people come here, whether it's a workshop or a program that we have for homeschoolers, we typically immerse folks in the holistic value of the workshop, not just here and take it and go home. We really try to make it intentionally educational as much as we can, for sure. All right, y'all. That's about it. Let me see what time. What time is it, Mello?
6:26.
Oh, right on the money. Let's go. Also, it's nothing to see right now because they've been burnt to smithereens. But these pallets right here, I tried to do vertical. Well, I'm not gonna say I tried. We do vertical gardening on it every year. Again, summer is just too hot for it because it's not deep enough of a container. But this is another answer to lack of space. So we grow up instead of out. But we'll usually have herbs or salad mixes in those during the fall and the spring, and they do really well. They making me a liar right now though.
Fall is coming up. Do you start from seed or do you get the seedling?
Yeah, we'll start from seed. Like in the next 2 weeks, we'll start our seeds. Some things we'll go out here right now and broadcast.
That's for the green. That's the green.
Yep, leafy greens for sure. But you can run your second or third round of tomatoes and peppers right now. So if you still got time or you got space and you got the spot ready, you can definitely do tomatoes right now. For sure, 1000%.
From seed or from?
No, from transplant.
Okay.
Transplant. So a cutting or something like that. Not a seed. That's gonna take too long. Thank you for that because that's a big difference. All right, y'all. So basically, let's hit this little area. Check out my little again. We trying to do vertical gardens. This is a unique way that we showed it, and we're gonna wrap it up after this. This is a unique way, and I did my potato mounds like that as well over there. You can see another one right here. We're about to harvest the potatoes out of here soon. We get a good harvest out of potatoes like that, but basically this is the main component. The main component that this is useful for is one, it houses the microorganisms. So as I immersed myself in agriculture, I learned that it's not the fertilizer that feeds your plants. Oh, that's a vine borer. If y'all ain't know what a vine borer looked like, you'd think it was a ladybug. But that's a vine borer. That's what kills all our vining plants in the summertime. Typically, this is why we'll just stop during the summer and try to start again in fall. But the first thing this does is house the microorganisms. So it's not the fertilizer, but it's the microorganisms that eat the fertilizer and then make it available for your plant matter. So this houses microorganisms. And then this also sucks up the water like a sponge. So when we pour the water in or when it rains, it literally holds onto it like a sponge does. Then thirdly, this reduces the amount of space. So this log being in here is probably like 3 or 4 bags of soil that I would have had to purchase at about $10 a bag on the cheap side. So that's $30 just by having this log in here taking up space. $30 worth of soil that I did not have to spend money on. So that's why this is here. And again, this is a very useful process. It works very well with our potatoes. I'm really happy with this design. So this is another 55-gallon drum as well.
Where do you get all your 55-gallon drums?
Facebook Marketplace, definitely secondhand. So usually folks have them, they'll give them to you or they'll sell them to you for $10, $15, something like that. All right, and this is our ending. Back where we started. So this is our mandala. And excuse it again, we still got this debris. I just added this in as a stop just because it's something that's a little bit more funky. The plants are really struggling right now, but in about 4 weeks, now I'm gonna say 6 weeks, when the temperature cools off, they'll be back vibrant, bushy, green, full. But right now they just having a day. But this is our mandala. Again, this is just something to add in a little flair to it. Some folks need a little eye-catching, you know what I mean? Some people need the eyes to be pleased as well. So this was my stab at it. I'm really a function over fashion type of guy, but I did listen to some folks. So this is just our mandala. And again, over here is our row garden. The main component, again, in Georgia, people thinking you can't grow in the clay soil. That is a myth. You just got to know how to do it. And the double dig method is what we teach anybody who wants to invest that time and sweat equity. That's how we're doing our 10 by 10 installations. For those of you who don't know, we're going around Atlanta and start to build food production plots in front yards, backyards, sides of the yards. Any of our community members who are ready to take that step forward into food production, as it pertains to a collective effort. So these 10 by 10 plots are going to be established by our community members. We'll be providing the sweat equity. Our community members, such as Mello, would be a lighthouse. He'd be able to instruct people on how to do it. And again, the people who are in that cohort will provide the labor as well. And then again, the whole thing is they're part and parcel. So one person might grow tomatoes, the next person might be fixated on peppers, the next person might have onions. And so we'll start off real slow for 1 to 3 things, but the intention is to grow enough for yourself and then grow some for that cohort as well. And that's how we're going to start to showcase what the mutual aid looks like in real life and how we really can interconnect our resources, ourselves in the picture and really become collectively sustainable. So that's the tour for today. If y'all have any other questions or comments or, you know, critiques, man, the floor is open. If not, thank you. So who in here is ready or came for the roots conversation? Are y'all ready? You think you're ready? Okay. So y'all are in Macon. Griffin. Do y'all have anybody else down there?
No, we figured we had to come up here to this area.
Would you be comfortable doing that? So that's it. That's all. As long as you be comfortable making your round. So let's say if you can then become a part of a cohort, and the cohort really is 20-mile radius. So if you're comfortable driving 20 miles, that's cool. Me, I'm not gonna drive that far. I drive for y'all, but I ain't gonna drive for everybody, right? So I really have my cohort gonna be round the way. But if you can don't mind coming to the south side and participating in 3 different builds, that's all the buy-in is. So if we can get the money up to provide the materials, then they don't pay anything. If we can't get the money up, the lowest they have to do is pay $400 for their soil. And that's it in amendments. That's it. The labor, the plants, seeds, all the things we're using, that's a part of it. That's it. Soil 3. It's agricultural grade soil. Yeah. So, and the only reason why we're doing it like that, so it can be drag and drop, a true drag and drop model. Soil 3 delivers nationwide. But you can go to one place and get compost, and they tell you it's good compost, and it's just pine bark. And then you go somewhere else, and they say it's good. It's really like apple cores and food scraps and things like that in the mix. So it's a big difference. So yeah, one compost and the other is not the same just because the name is. Yeah. So yeah, that's as simple as it is. It's really that simple. And again, the whole framework is y'all will be growing 1 to 3 things specifically with the intention to grow it for yourself, and then the rest of it gonna go into the cohort, and everybody else is gonna do the same thing, and eventually your 3 things turn into 15 or 18 or 21 because of the cohort.
How far are y'all from here? How far is it?
38 minutes.
Oh, that's not that far.
So from Stockbridge, y'all probably about what, 25?
Probably closer, yeah.
Oh, that's not that bad. See?
Go down there.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's all. That's y'all just saw that in real life, man. That's as easy as it's going. That's as simple as it is. And again, we're the solution. We're the resource. It starts with us. So if we can just showcase what this looks like, I think it'll be profound on the big screen of TikTok or social media, and it'll be inspiring enough for folks to really replicate in their area. And the only condition is you got to be a collectively sustainable member, mainly because 1, that's how we keep up with training, who's really authorized to teach. And then 2 is like how we check in and talk about conflict resolution and things like that beforehand. So it's really a cultural edifice that we're pushing with collectively sustainable, not just the gardening aspect, but it's really like creating a new paradigm for how we interconnect. All right. So I'm gonna turn it over to my wife now. She has some treats available, possibly if y'all want to indulge.
Oh yeah, so y'all seen the elderberry trees in the back. I've been harvesting for a week. I'll probably be harvesting for another week. So I make elderberry concentrate. It's in a pipe-sized jar. The elderberry concentrate is $20. The concentrate plus the echinacea, y'all see all the echinacea I have to cut down. It's very medicinal. Elderberry plus echinacea is
surprise you.
Popped out.
So that is something that really got us through COVID, and I swear by it. It's mild enough to give the children once they hit. Oh, thank you. It's mild enough to give the children once they hit 1 year old. The concentrate itself, you could take a tablespoon, put it in some tea.
I tell everybody, make you a lemonade and put you a couple of tablespoons of that elderberry in it, and it's down. Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's so nasty. It's not nasty. Y'all just not making it right. Okay. And I also sell elderberry juice. So we just have the juices in the pack. Fresh elderberries, lemons, oranges, cane sugar. And then I also make a juice that I just came up with. I discovered by mistake. I don't know if y'all remember Tang, if anybody is old enough to remember Tang, but that has become a popular juice now. Again, fresh squeezed lemons, mandarins or tangerines, and cane sugar. That's it. And it's delicious. So if y'all want anything in the house, y'all come on in. All the prices are on the board again. We take cash, Venmo, and you can cash app Seals Family Farm.
Also, just go in to peruse, man, because again, this is our stewardship center.
Right.
So the concept is just that. So you don't have to have an indoor space to be a stewardship center, which is basically a schoolhouse, right? And the schoolhouse has lighthouses. Those are our educators. So you can be educating on anything: sound bowl, healing, healthy eating, carpentry, maintenance, whatever it is that you feel passionate about, that you say this is where we need to be starting, or we need to have this embedded into our revolution or this new world that we're creating. You can teach it, you can become a lighthouse, and you attach yourself with a stewardship center. So that's how we do so many programs, because we don't have to bear all the weight of the program. We just call in somebody else to fill the gap, and our community gets fed like that. So when you go in, this is more than just our home. This is our community center as well. This is our HQ. So please go in there and just dig the vibes, man. Please. Go ahead, Booby. After you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you,
Yes,
girl.
sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, ooh, let me get this.
Look at your laptop real quick.
Oh, no, I can't do that.
I need you to, sir.
I can't.